Residents alerted authorities after making the grim find, prompting police and emergency officials to secure the scene. The circumstances surrounding Hughes' death remain unclear, and investigators are working to determine how he ended up in the water. In a separate incident on Monday night, a 63-year-old man remains hospitalized in stable condition after being violently attacked along Hampton Road, Lowlands. Reports indicate that the victim was parked near a supermarket and attending to the rear of his vehicle when he was approached from behind by a man armed with a cutlass. The assailant allegedly inflicted chop wounds to the victim's head before fleeing the scene on a bicycle. Emergency services responded quickly and the injured man was taken to hospital for treatment. Police inquiries into both matters are ongoing. Caribbean Airlines is firing back against rumors of a possible shutdown. In a media release issued today, the carrier's board of directors categorically rejected reports suggesting the airline is facing closure. Officials say no discussions about ending operations have ever taken place. The Trinidad and Tobago-based company confirms that flights and service continue as normal. Leadership is currently focused on a long-term strategy to stabilize the business. This includes an active review of all operations to ensure reliable regional connectivity. To further strengthen the airline, management is currently auditing financial statements as they recruit new senior leaders to support future growth. Caribbean Airlines remains that its primary goal remains the delivery of consistent service across its entire network. However, this remains to be seen as reports of board-recommended belt-tightening measures continue to circulate unfettered. Good news tonight for Tobago residents. WASA reports all 5 vandalized wells are back in operation. Regional Manager Giselle Webster confirms that the water service is returning to the island. Repairs to the Annas Vale, Bacalet, and the Claude Noel Highway sites are complete. Technicians also finished work at the Bloody Bay well today. Importantly, water quality tests show no signs of contamination.
Quality Control Department has been dispatched as early as this morning, starting with the Bloody Bay tank, which was directly affected. There was approximately 10 feet of water in the tank, and this morning they would have gone to that location first to check and ensure that the quality of the water was not compromised in any way prior to attempting to utilize the supply to send out to the public. In furtherance of this attempt to ensure that the quality wasn't compromised, because the thing about the vandalism is that the possibilities are endless, and the price of freedom for us has to be eternal vigilance.
Officials checked 10 feet of water in the Bloody Bay tank over the weekend and have confirmed that the supply is safe for public use. Authorities have committed to continuous checks to ensure water and the public safety.
And to that end, what we decided is that the quality control team will work continuously across the balance of the weekend, checking all our other storage facilities to ensure that nothing else, to mitigate against the possibilities of anything untoward. So that process is ongoing.
Some areas like Castara may still experience low pressure tonight. This is because pipelines are still recharging and building back strength. To help, WASA is expanding its trucking fleet by Wednesday. 2 more trucks will join the 3 already on the ground. Officials say they are now increasing camera surveillance at all utility sites. Tobago police have confirmed to Tobago Updates that 9 persons have been detained and questioned. Stay tuned for our updates as the investigations continue. Up next, Carl's subsidy cut threatens the island's economy.
Lemonade, Violet Vibes. This Easter Monday, April 6th, it's the ultimate premium all-inclusive breakfast party. Lemonade, Violet Vibes. Lemonade from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Fairways Restaurant and Lounge. Bringing the vibes live on stage. Tristo. Kimmy. Sponsored by Penny Savers Supermarket, Comsearch Networking, AVT General Services Limited, Tobago Updates, Angostura, Absolute Vodka, Campari, Tobago Festivals Commission Limited, and Bermudez. This Easter Monday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Fairways Restaurant and Lounge. Lemonade, Violet Vibes, where the vibes are always refreshing.
We get ready as the Conby Mount Pleasant Community Council brings to you the Easter Sport and Family Day. On Monday, 6th April, Easter Monday, we transform the Mount Pleasant recreational grounds. We kick off with track and field events, novelty races, Easter bonnet competition, the Greasy Pole Challenge, and the highly anticipated William Woods Premier Goat Racing Classic. Huge prizes to be won, and we can't forget the Kids Corner with rides and bouncy castles. At 7 p.m., it's an after party and a stage show by popular artists and DJs. Grounds tickets cost $60 for adults and $30 for kids 5 to 12 years. Pavilion tickets cost $100 and children under 5 years are free. So register early for races. Check out Conby Mount Pleasant Community Council on Facebook. 474-4661. 474-4661 for more details. Live performance by the 2026 National Calypso Monarch Queen, Terry Lyons.
I need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing.
John's Bar on the Boulevard presents the Tobago Vibes Festival. 1 weekend, 4 free events. That's right, 4 nights of freeness at John's Bar. Thursday, April 2nd, we start off with the Conscious Vibes at I Love Reggae, featuring international reggae superstar Roz Shiloh.
On to Zion we go, and I can't move slow, no.
Shiloh.
Are you satisfied? Wipe the tears from your eyes.
Also featuring TNT's very own Kevin Carter and Garden Knight, alongside your favorite reggae-matic DJs. Easter weekend on the Esplanade. It's the safe and secure, admission-free, first annual Tobago Vibes Festival. See social media for details. Keywords Tobago Vibes Festival. I Love Reggae. Powered by John's Bar on the Boulevard.
Trinidad, Tobago, and abroad, your chance to drive away in a brand new SUV is still on. The BHS Centennial Raffle has been extended to Thursday, 30th April 2026. And that's not all. Prizes include travel for 2 to Miami and Curacao, Tobago staycation, iPhones, computers, smart TVs, and more. Tickets still only $100. Get yours at selected outlets or at islandetickets.com. Details at bishopstobago100.com/raffle.
Young one don't know the thing critical and crucial is Friday night blaze in the parts usual. And on this Easter weekend, I'm going to be there for Arise at our beautiful twin Isle of Tobago. So looking forward to seeing you there. And remember, I fed up by the captivity, fed up by the lockdown. I find it's time to lose bear. The imprisonment got to stop now. Critical and crucial, see you there.
Arise!
Welcome back. Caribbean Airlines is denying rumors of an immediate shutdown, but the heat is on regarding the future of the Airbridge. Business leaders in Tobago are now firing back at reports that the airline's board recommended removing the government's subsidy. Joel Green George has the details on why the private sector says this move could cripple the island.
The domestic Airbridge is more than a flight path. It is a lifeline. Today, the Tobago business community united in a firm no to any proposed removal of the Airbridge subsidy. Curtis Williams, chair of the Tobago division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, says the move would create significant economic strain. In a statement, Williams warned that without the subsidy, ticket prices could climb beyond the reach of many residents. Martin George, president of the Tobago Business Chamber, says for Tobagonians, this is about survival, not just vacations.
Look at it as necessary as the main artery of your highway connecting North Trinidad and South Trinidad. That's as vital as this Airbridge is for Tobagonians, because they need to come down to Trinidad for medical appointments, for dental appointments, to do an interview.
Currently, a round-trip ticket costs $400. George points out that with standard change fees, that price often hits $500. He argues that CAL must fix its own internal financial issues before looking to the public's pocket.
That CAL needs to get its act together. They need to look within. They need to start trimming the fat. They need to start getting leaner, meaner, stronger, and better as an organization.
The Chamber is now calling for a tiered pricing model. This would keep fares low for locals while charging visitors a higher rate. They also want the government to consider opening the route to additional carriers to spark competition. George remains adamant that Tobagonians should not pay the price for administrative waste.
You cannot keep putting the burden on the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and more importantly, the people of Tobago, by simply saying, well, look, you want the removal of the subsidy. We say it's going to have a negative effect on the tourism in Tobago.
Business leaders are now seeking urgent talks with Chief Secretary Farley Augustine to protect the island's connectivity. Jewel Green George, Tobago Updates Television News.
The restoration of Tobago's wells is a victory, but it reveals a deeper vulnerability. As we sit in the peak of a harsh dry season, Tobago is relying on a fleet of just 3 trucks to bridge a massive gap in service. With fire risks high and the Atlantic hurricane season just 3 months away, the pressure on our water security has never been more apparent. Joel Green George looks at the thin line between stability and crisis.
Tobago is currently fighting a battle on 3 fronts. We are in the height of the dry season. The risk of bushfires is at its annual peak, and the hurricane season is now less than 90 days away. WASA has since confirmed that 3 trucks are active, but that 2 more are expected to temporarily be added by Wednesday. But in a month where every drop counts for firefighting and household storage, a temporary 5-truck fleet is a narrow margin for an entire island.
There are 3 trucks available. So the number to call if you need truck-borne water, it's 639-6850, and there are 3 trucks currently working in that area.
With only 3 trucks currently confirmed in the fleet, at a potential maximum capacity of 15,000 gallons per trip, the math is sobering. While the 5 vandalized wells are back in operation, the recharging of the system takes time. In areas like Castara, the wait for pressure continues. This incident serves as a wake-up call. If a coordinated attack can stretch our resources this thin in March, how prepared are we for the unpredictability of June?
We are actually sourcing further trucks from Tobago so that we can mitigate against this in a faster manner. If we have to get these trucks procured from Trinidad to come to Tobago, it will take some time.
Over the long weekend, those 3 trucks were the only lifeline for hospitals and high-priority areas. But on an island consistently faced with water woes, are 3 water trucks for WASA's Tobago fleet a feasible backup for our 120 square miles? Vigilance is now the policy. WASA is accelerating its virtual guard surveillance to protect what little we do have. As the dry season heat intensifies, the island's ability to bounce back from the next disruption remains under a microscope. Reporting for Tobago Updates Television News, I'm Jewel Green George.
Tobago's veterinary landscape is expanding with improved access to animal care as Dr. Daniel John Jack continues to bridge service gaps across the island. From mobile treatments to a newly established clinic, her efforts aim to ensure pet owners and farmers alike receive timely, reliable veterinary support regardless of their location. Here are the details.
What began as a simple social media initiative has evolved into a trusted source of pet care guidance. Created by Tobago-based veterinarian Dr. Daniel John Jack, the Vet Vibe was launched to combat widespread misinformation among pet owners, which often resulted in preventable clinic visits. The platform now provides reliable advice, education, and promotes responsible animal care.
So the Vet Vibe started off as a social media page that was supposed to bring awareness to provide reliable information on how to care for pets. So it started off from, because I was an existing veterinarian at the time, working within a clinic in Tobago, and I recognized that a lot of pet owners were getting inaccurate information, which were leading them into the clinic and having us have to do a lot of treatments and post-care because of the inability to care for the animals properly. So the Vet Vibe started as an advice page.
John Jack emphasized that her practice began as a mobile clinic, offering island-wide services to reach animals in underserved communities. With existing veterinarian facilities concentrated in a single area, many pet owners face limited access. The mobile initiative helped close that gap, bringing essential care directly to previously hard-to-reach locations.
So initially, I started the clinic as a mobile service. So it allowed me to go around the island because I did island-wide treatments, and it allowed me to access different animals in different areas that were not very readily accessible because of the positioning of the two clinics that are existing on island, because both clinics at present are within one scope or one area. So there were a lot of animals that weren't reachable. So that is how I started the mobile clinic.
She highlighted that the clinic's surgical suite is dedicated to dogs and cats, while procedures for farm animals are carried out on site. Cases such as birthing complications, including cesarean sections, are handled on farms. She added that the facility's spacious compound can accommodate animals brought in for treatment.
So the surgery suite that we have set up is specifically for dogs and cats. We do farm animal surgeries on the farm. So if you have things like dystocia, which is difficulty giving birth, if we have to do a cesarean, all those things happen on farm. So the surgery suite here is specifically for dog and cat. We do, even if you bring the animal here in the vehicle, we can do the surgeries here. So it's not a matter of only dog and cat. So you could have the animals here, the spaces, the compound is very big, there's a backyard.
Dr. John Jack added that despite the establishment of a physical clinic, her mobile veterinary service remains active, ensuring continued access to care across the island. For more information or to access services through the Vet Vibe is located at Barrington Court, Milford Road, Bonaccord, and members of the public can contact at 310-1959 or 617-1532. This is Aaliyah Balgobin reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
The government is facing a critical warning this Tuesday. Placing police in schools is not a substitute for professional support. Following last Friday's parliamentary debate, the focus has shifted to a massive resource gap in the education system as the opposition moved a motion criticizing the deployment of armed police in schools. With 380 specialist positions reportedly vacant, the opposition argues our students are being policed instead of being helped. Joel Green-George reports.
While the presence of armed officers in hallways dominates the headlines, the real crisis may be what is missing from the classroom. During last Friday's House sitting, the opposition says that the government's school safety plan is missing two critical pillars: 180 social workers and 200 learning assistants. Without these professionals, critics argue the school-oriented policing initiative is a lopsided strategy that ignores the root causes of student aggression.
Police cannot replace school social workers, guidance counselors, and restorative practitioners. Their roles and functions are completely different. Paragraph 4 of the preamble speaks to the linking of the school-oriented policing initiatives with measures to address the root causes of school violence.
The reportedly missing 200 learning support assistants were originally intended to provide supervision during non-teaching times, the high-risk period where most school fights occur. In Tobago, where access to specialized psychosocial support is already a frequent concern, the absence of these 380 personnel could be felt even more acutely. The opposition claims the current administration abandoned a previously successful model.
So we committed community police to particular schools, assigned them, dedicated social workers and guidance counselors. We hired over 180 additional officers. We hired approximately 200 learning support assistants, and they were assigned to school to help with supervision during non-teaching times because the data showed that fighting was going on then. We had a regular mentorship session. I'm dealing with the measures that school-oriented policing is not linked with.
The opposition's argument seems simple. A police officer can stop a fight, but a social worker can prevent one. By failing to fill these nearly 400 positions, the government is accused of using a magic wand approach to a complex social crisis.
Wave the magic wand, Mr. Speaker, and that is supposed to be the UNC's panacea. And as the country now knows, the UNC's narrow, knee-jerk approach that the PNM warned this country about is just not working.
Although the 2025-2026 Term 2 ended last Friday with the closure of schools, the demand for fewer sirens and more specialists is resounding. Jewel Green George, Tobago Updates Television News.
The news will continue in a moment, but why wait? You can follow every story, every update, all the time. Join the conversation and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tobago Updates. Don't miss a beat, we'll be right back.
Baby, when you whine on me. Somebody get the phone, go the telephone. I get wet. I'm looking all through the party. I hope I find you there.
What's up, it's your brother Nathaniel here. Listen to this Easter weekend 2026. Arise, the concert, Scarborough Amphitheater will never be the same. I'm looking forward to fellowshipping with you guys and praise and worship. And I know a couple of my brothers will be there as well. Big up, blessed, Bijon, Fire Night. Arise, we going down in the war room. We going down in the war room.
Arise.
Lemonade, Violet Vibes. This Easter Monday, April 6th, it's the ultimate premium all-inclusive breakfast party. Lemonade, Violet Vibes. Lemonade from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Fairways Restaurant and Lounge. Bringing the vibes live on stage. Tristo. Kimmy.
Tonight is action in the people place. Action when you're on your waist.
Sponsored by Penny Savers Supermarket, Comsearch Networking, AVT General Services Limited, Tobago Updates, Angostura, Absolute Vodka, Campari, Tobago Festivals Commission Limited, and Bermudez. This Easter Monday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Fairways Restaurant and Lounge. Lemonade, Violet Vibes, where the vibes are always refreshing.
We get ready as the Conby Mount Pleasant Community Council brings to you their Easter Sport and Family Day. On Monday, 6th April, Easter Monday, we transform the Mount Pleasant recreational grounds. We kick off with track and field events, novelty races, Easter bonnet competition, the Greasy Pole Challenge, and the highly anticipated William Woods Premier Goat Racing Classic. Huge prizes to be won, and we can't forget the Kids Corner with rides and bouncy castles. At 7 p.m., it's an after party and a stage show by popular artists and DJs. Grounds tickets cost $60 for adults and $30 for kids 5 to 12 years. Pavilion tickets cost $100 and children under 5 years are free. So register early for races. Check out Conby Mount Pleasant Community Council on Facebook. 474-4661. 474-4661 for more details. Live performance by the 2026 National Calypso Monarch Queen, Terry Lyons.
Need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing.
John's Bar on the Boulevard presents the Tobago Vibes Festival. 1 weekend, 4 free events. That's right, 4 nights of freeness at John's Bar. Thursday, April 2nd, we start off with the Conscious Vibes at I Love Reggae, featuring international reggae superstar Roz Shiloh.
On to Zion we go, and I can't move slow, no.
Shiloh.
Are you satisfied? Wipe the tears from your eyes.
Also featuring TNT's very own Kevin Carter and Garden Knight, alongside your favorite reggae-matic DJs. Easter weekend on the Esplanade. It's the safe and secure, admission-free, first annual Tobago Vibes Festival. See social media for details. Keywords Tobago Vibes Festival. I Love Reggae. Powered by John's Bar on the Boulevard.
Trinidad, Tobago, and abroad, your chance to drive away in a brand new SUV is still on. The BHS Centennial Raffle has been extended to Thursday, 30th April 2026. And that's not all. Prizes include travel for 2 to Miami and Curacao, Tobago staycation, iPhones, computers, smart TVs, and more. Tickets still only $100. Get yours at selected outlets or at islandetickets.com. Details at bishopstobago100.com/raffle.
Welcome back. The Tobago Football Association Premier Division continued on Friday evening at the Dwight York Stadium with a thrilling doubleheader that delivered another entertaining contest for fans in attendance. In the opening clash, Gold City FC and Stokely Vale FC battled a hard-fought 2-all draw in a match filled with intensity, momentum, swings, and late drama. Gold City FC struck first, taking an early lead after applying sustained pressure in the opening stages. However, Stokely Vale FC responded strongly, leveling the score before the end of the first half with a well-worked team goal. The second half saw both sides pushing for control, with Gold City regaining the advantage through a clinical finish that lifted their supporters. Stokely Vale FC refused to back down and found the equalizer late in the encounter, capitalizing on a defensive lapse to secure a share of the points. Both teams had opportunities to seal victory in the closing minutes, but were ultimately unable to convert. The result leaves both sides reflecting on missed chances as the Premier Division race continues to tighten in the ongoing TFA League season. The Tobago Regional Health Authority has confirmed ongoing efforts to regularize nursing staff and strengthen permanent staffing within the health system. Secretary of the Division of Health and Wellness, Dr. Faith Brebner, says several nurses are already transitioning into established posts, while recruitment and appointment processes continue. The authority says the initiative is part of wider efforts to improve healthcare stability and service delivery. Here are the details.
The Tobago Regional Health Authority, TRHA, has reiterated its commitment to fair and transparent overtime pay for nursing staff, stating that payments are made under an established tiered system. While the nursing pool system, suspended since 2018 to 2019, remains under review, nurses continue receiving overtime rates ranging from time and a half to triple time. The TRHA says it remains focused on fair compensation and efficient healthcare delivery within professional guidelines. Secretary for Health and Wellness, Dr. Faith Brebner, highlighted that between December 2025 and February 2026, the TRHA issued 190 offer letters to nurses across categories including registered nurses, midwives, and ENAs. Of those, 133 have accepted the offer, while others are still pending responses. A small number have declined, citing personal reasons or lack of interest.
190 offer letters were sent to nurses of different categories, RNs, midwives, ENAs, between December 2025 and February 2026. Of those, 133 responded with a resounding yes. We are still waiting for a couple others, and a few have said they are not interested for whatever reason.
107 nurses were scheduled to transition to permanent positions from January 2026, with the process still ongoing as many have already been called in to complete formalities. Brebner emphasized that the initiative first discussed at the start of her tenure remains a priority and will continue until all eligible staff are addressed, assuring that qualified nurses will be processed in due course.
107 were scheduled to move over to being permanent from January 2026. That process is continuing. Many of those have been called in to sign on the dotted line. This is something that I discussed with the nurses at the beginning of my tenure as secretary with responsibility for health. It is something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and it is something we will continue working through. But don't worry, if we haven't gotten to you yet, we will get to you, as long as you meet the requirements, of course.
She reiterated that the transition process remains ongoing and will be completed in line with established requirements. She assured nurses that those who qualify will be duly processed, reinforcing the administration's commitment to strengthening staffing stability within the health sector while ensuring fairness and transparency throughout the system. At this time, the ongoing strike action involving nurses in Trinidad has not had any impact on healthcare services in Tobago thus far. Tobago's health facilities continue as normal, with services being maintained and patient care remaining uninterrupted despite developments in Trinidad. This is Aliyah Balgobin, reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
The Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association has raised concern over recent incidents of alleged sabotage targeting water infrastructure operated by the Water and Sewage Authority, which led to temporary interruptions in water supply in several parts of Tobago. According to the association, the disruptions have created significant challenges not only for residents but also for businesses within the tourism industry, including hotels, guest houses, and villa operators. These establishments depend heavily on a stable and reliable water supply to maintain service quality for both the local and the visiting guests. The THTA strongly condemned any deliberate interference with essential public utilities, stating that such actions place unnecessary strain on the population and threaten Tobago's image as a leading tourism destination. The association further aligned itself with comments made by the Chief Secretary, agreeing that acts of this nature should be regarded as serious offenses that endanger public welfare. It called for greater protection of critical infrastructure to prevent future disruptions. Families gathered for the Everything on Wheels charity event, an initiative designed to promote unity, fun, and meaningful interaction. The event brought together children and parents for a day of activities, encouraging quality time while fostering a sense of community spirit and giving back in an engaging and family-friendly environment. Here are the details.
Hyacinth Stevenson, organizer of Everything on Wheels, highlighted the charity event promotes community unity and quality family time. Inspired by her son's love for activities, she expanded the idea to include others, creating a space where families can connect, have fun, and give back while strengthening relationships within the community.
So the event is Everything on Wheels, and it's a charity event. I believe community is supposed to be able to give together, grow together, and move together. So it's all about parents being able to interact and bond, spending quality time with their children. So that is what today is about, and as well as giving back. The idea behind the event, my sons, you know, children always wanting to do stuff, and having the Everything on Wheels, they always wanted to be able to invite friends and family. So I said, why not? Let's just give back while having fun and inviting other persons in our space.
Several children shared their experiences of the event while speaking with Tobago Updates, highlighting the fun, excitement, and enjoyment they had throughout the day.
Kind of good. It was bumpy. My legs was hurting. It was a very steep hill. I almost fell. I fell. And she fell twice. But he never want to make me fall down. I think so.
Watch this way.
I think, and I was kind of fast. Yes, I'll be here
After taking part in the cycling and skating activities, twin sisters opted to try hoverboarding instead. They shared that the experience was both exciting and enjoyable, offering them a fun new way to participate in the event while spending quality time together.
Because it's fun and it's really kind of hard to learn, but it's also unique. It's kind of simple. It's kind of easy once you get the hang of it. It's hard for other people. Yeah.
Overall, the event was a resounding success, bringing families together in a positive and engaging environment, with laughter, activity, and a spirit of togetherness on full display. Everything on Wheels not only provided entertainment, but also reinforced the importance of community connection and giving back. This is Aliyah Balgobin reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
The weather report when we return.
Baby, when you whine on me,
Somebody get the phone, go the telephone.
I get wet. I get wet. I get wet. I'm looking all through the party. I hope I find you there.
We get ready as the Conby Mount Pleasant Community Council brings to you their Easter Sport and Family Day. On Monday, 6th April, Easter Monday, we transform the Mount Pleasant recreational grounds. We kick off with track and field events, novelty races, Easter bonnet competition, the Greasy Pole Challenge, and the highly anticipated William Woods Premier Goat Racing Classic. Huge prizes to be won, and we can't forget the Kids Corner with rides and bouncy castles. At 7 p.m., it's an after party and a stage show by popular artists and DJs. Grounds tickets cost $60 for adults and $30 for kids 5 to 12 years. Pavilion tickets cost $100 and children under 5 years are free. So register early for races. Check out Conby Mount Pleasant Community Council on Facebook. 474-4661. 474-4661 for more details. Live performance by the 2026 National Calypso Monarch Queen, Terry Lyons.
Need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing. Tobago need a blessing.
John's Bar on the Boulevard presents the Tobago Vibes Festival. 1 weekend, 4 free events. That's right, 4 nights of freeness at John's Bar. Thursday, April 2nd, we start off with the Conscious Vibes at I Love Reggae, featuring international reggae superstar Roz Shiloh.
On to Zion we go. I can't move slow, no.
Shiloh.
Are you satisfied? Wipe the tears from your eyes.
Also featuring TNT's very own Kevin Carter and Garden Knight, alongside your favorite reggae-matic DJs. Easter weekend on the Esplanade. It's the safe and secure, admission-free, first annual Tobago Vibes Festival. See social media for details. Keywords Tobago Vibes Festival. I Love Reggae. Powered by John's Bar on the Boulevard.
Trinidad, Tobago, and abroad. Your chance to drive away in a brand new SUV is still on. The BHS Centennial Raffle has been extended to Thursday, 30th April 2026. And that's not all. Prizes include a travel for 2 to Miami and Curacao, Tobago staycation, iPhones, computers, smart TVs, and more. Tickets still only $100. Get yours at selected outlets or at islandetickets.com. Details at bishopstobago100.com/raffle.
Hop, hop, hip hooray, Easter money's on its way. Some bunnies getting a great rate today. Looking for a rate that's bright and sunny? Hop on down for some Easter money. 1% interest through and through, because we see you at BCU. Apply for a 1% Easter loan and let's hatch something great together. Hop, hop, hip hooray, Easter money's on its way.
People, the 4th and 5th of April, it's all about Arise. Tobago, we coming. Well, let's see the video of jumping out of planes for this one. Parachuting down to the Scarborough Amphitheater. Yes, this is the place to be. Along with other friends and them, and even the ones from Tobago too. Big up all yourself. We're going to have a great time in Jesus' name. Arise!
Arise! Blissful melodies come from heaven, so his praise are given to the kingdom.
Welcome back. Every day we bring you closer to the issues that matter most. Good news tonight for Tobago residents. WASA reports all 5 vandalized wells are back in operation, but this act of sabotage has raised grave concerns with the public. For our social media poll today, we asked the question, which consequence of the recent WASA well infrastructure interference most affects your daily life? 63% voted a deliberate targeting of public infrastructure. 17% voted the timing during a long weekend. And 20% voted that there currently are 3 water trucks in WASA's Tobago fleet. Remember, your voice counts too. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and join the conversation by voting in our daily polls. Now for a look at the weather update from the TNT Met Office. Tonight will be variably cloudy with a brief isolated shower at times. The minimum temperature is forecast to be around 23 degrees Celsius at Piarco and 24 degrees Celsius at Crown Point. Tomorrow will be fair to partly cloudy with few isolated showers. There's a low chance of the heavy shower favoring western areas of Trinidad during the afternoon. The night will be fair. The maximum temperature tomorrow is expected to reach around 32 degrees Celsius at Piarco and 31 degrees Celsius at Crown Point. Seas will be moderate with waves between 1.5 and 2 meters in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:03 and sunset at 6:16. And that's all the time we have for tonight's Tobago Updates news. Have a great night and let's recap the headlines. Tobago police probe attack and body discovery. Carl denies closure rumors. Operations to continue as normal. All 5 wells back online. Water safe for public. And Tobago business leaders. Carl subsidy cut threatens the island's economy.